Papua New Guinean owned companies, priority to Papua New Guinean owned companies. If the capacity is not there, then you look for outside companies that are registered and are operating or want to operate here. You look at that as second priority. First priority should be to Papua New Guinean majority, 51% plus owned and managed by Papua New Guineans.
Minister Kua also mentioned that host landowners and provincial government will fully participate in the lobbied process leading into the ministerial determinations and the benefits forum processes within this year. The final investment decision, or FID, is anticipated to be completed by end of this year, 2023 or first quarter of 2024, and construction pace thereafter and first gas in 2027.
Some of these benefits are legislated, so we don't have a choice. We don't talk about how we share. But some of those things we have to discuss. We have to discuss. So we have to think about how the actual PDL landowners will benefit, PDL landowners will benefit, how the pipeline landowners will benefit, how the processing facility landowners will benefit, plus their provincial governments and their districts. And then beyond that, we have to leave enough for the rest of the country, because we are all part of the one country. We always have, we always are, and we always will be sharing all the benefits that flows into our hands. We got to share it for the benefit of all of us.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Minister for Petroleum and Energy Karen Gakua has welcomed the announcement of the front-end engineering design by the developer of the Papua LNG, Total Energies, and JV partners. In a press conference this morning, Minister Kua said such big energy projects in a key project stage demonstrates a firm commitment from project developers.
The announcement of FEED pays by the Papua LNG developers has brought on anticipation of positive benefits to the host province and the country as a whole. Minister for Petroleum and Energy Karen Gakua said the completion of the FEED phase alone will boost the country's economy with almost 500 million kina, which will be completed at the end of this year. This means more forex coming into the country and stabilizing foreign reserves at the central bank. Minister Kua clarified that the Papua LNG project has a combined resource estimate in the range of 6 trillion cubic feet of gas and 98 to 128.9 million barrels of condensate.
The project resource we have at the moment identified is about 1 billion barrels of oil. And about 6 TCF of gas. Harvesting of that, as I said, will take over 20 years. However, there is also good prospects in the license area. Within the license, in the Antelope area, there is still good prospects there.
Kua stated that the project proponents are planning to complete FEED this year and move to the final investment decision, or FID, by end of this year or early 2024. The timeline is to meet first production in 2027. Minister Kua said this is the right time for the LNG market as projections indicate increase in demand, especially for gas.
The fact that now the joint venture partners are now going to spend the money means that the project is becoming reality. Before FEED, we were not sure whether we're going to have the project happening or not. But now they're going to be spending all these big bucks. There is now certainty. It's now confirmed that the project is going ahead. So the engineers will design the thing. They've already started.
The forecast is that natural gas demand will rise by 10% by the year 2030 and that the Asia-Pacific region will account for most of it. Mr. Kua said PNG is strategically placed to tap into those opportunities given the fact that the Papua LNG project partners will market their own share of the production at the stage of the Papua LNG, the technical, environmental and social mapping and landowner identification reviews and assessments are being carried out by the Department of Petroleum and relevant state agencies. This work will run along with the project pre-feed and will continue this year with the feed activities to meet the agreed timeline of milestones. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Meantime, Minister for Petroleum and Energy Karen Gakua called on the media to report such projects that sell the country to overseas investors. His comments come amidst ongoing consultations into the draft National Media Development Policy that the government intends to introduce to supposedly strengthen the media and utilize it to promote development agendas and not regulate it.
The media must help to portray a positive image of our country. Let's be our own best ambassadors. And if you create that kind of platform, people will feel embarrassed to go out and harass young ladies, molest them, petty crimes, because you have built into them a sense of self-pride and dignity, that they feel that it's below their self-worth to do those sort of things. So they won't do it. And it's from the little things that they learn to do the bigger, bad things. So if we, you guys, think about your role. You have a big role to play. Play it positively for our country's sake. Build unity, inspire, motivate, kick up.
NASFund Contributors Savings and Loan Society has confirmed that there was a security threat to its IT systems, forcing the society to voluntarily shut down to protect network and data. In a media release signed by NCSL Board Chairman Ian Tarutia, NCSL is undertaking a detailed and systematic process of checking and reviewing its IT systems. The exercise, which commenced last week after the threat was identified on March 1st, prevented members from accessing funds and conducting any online business, especially in their Poro accounts. Members raised questions and heavily criticized the society for taking too long to fix the problem. The society is now reassuring members that their funds and data are safe and secure, dismissing rumors that stated otherwise. Another update on restoration to systems will be made this Friday, 10th March. For urgent or emergency withdrawal requests, members are asked to email applications to ceo@ncsl.com.pg. The Morobe Division of Commerce, Industry and Tourism is urging people to be wary of tourism scams, especially those involving cruise ships. The Division of Tourism does not ask people to pay fees to be part of a tourism program.
Morobe's Division of Commerce, Industry and Tourism does not set fees for citizens to pay to be part of tourism programs that are running in the province. Tourism officers are paid to do their jobs and run programs in the province. Hence, these programs should be free. Provincial Program Advisor Tali Yanga emphasized on this following recent social media posts and news articles regarding cruise ship visits to Morobe. Certain individuals and organizations, including church leaders, have been selling the idea and charging lay residents to take part in a tour guide training.
When it comes to tourism, the office that is responsible to deal with tourism is the Division of Commerce, Industry and Tourism. This is the office that TPA, I'm putting this notice to the TPA as well now. TPA, because TPA, they just come and go and deal with the con people on the street. And these are the people who are creating the problem as well. TPA is supposed to be coming and working with the Division of Commerce, the legally mandated provincial administration, the division. So this is the office that TPA is supposed to be connecting with. And we connect with the people and the service providers, the industry players in the district.
Yanga further explained that the task of bringing cruise ships is no easy job. It requires planning and months of preparation, including money. He drew attention to P&O Cruises, which is owned by British-American cruise operator Carnival Corporation and PLC. Individuals are using the name of this cruise line to scam people, promising them money and benefits once the cruise ships start arriving in Morobe. Furthermore, some of these people, mostly from settlements, had to pay fees for the so-called processing of their passports and visas to go to Dubai.
It's a big, shipping company in the one. You cannot just go and bring that ship into our port. It needs planning, it needs time, it needs resources. So, PNG TPA, being the custodian of the law that governs the operation of tourism in this country, must be first notified, and it should, through its network and through its marketing strategy, should be the organization spearheading the ship to come to our province. So it should be the first organization that should know. And then coming to the province, no. We at the Morobe Provincial Government Administration must know of the arrival of the ship, when the ship is going to come, and this. So we should be at the forefront of preparation and all this.
Once again, the public is asked to be cautious of people posing as tourism officers or representatives of the provincial government. Jasmine Nero, TVWAN News.
All tourism associations and agencies in Morobe Province should align their programs with the Division of Commerce, Industry and Tourism. Provincial Program Advisor for Commerce, Industry and Tourism, Tali Yanga, is placing certain individuals on notice following the graduation and certification of hundreds of lay residents, especially from Kamkumang, who took part in an urban tour guide training. At least 200 people, most of whom are members of a particular church, recently graduated under this 4-day training. Yanga pointed out that the laminated certificates had the logos of certain government agencies printed on them without authorization. Some of the agencies whose logos are printed on the tourism certificate include the Royal PNG Constabulary, the PNG Correctional Service, the PNG Law and Justice Secretariat, the SME Corporation, and the APEC 2018 logo.
It's criminal. So as much as possible, I am putting notice to all these aliens. I can name them, but do you think it's good for me to name them? No.
It can be.
But it's a warning. I'm issuing this warning now. I'm issuing this warning to people who are acting on behalf of PNG TPA, as an agent of PNG TPA and as agent of Morobe Provincial Government, to go around and solicit people and ask for money and organize tourism activities. They must stop. They must stop. And if anybody wants to do any work of the tourism, must come to the office of the Division of Commerce, Industry and Tourism, and then get clearance from here and go and do it.
This is TV1 News. Among stories after the break, Payam Hospital to reopen and B-led computer labs launched.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
It's that time again! Scalerise is giving you the chance to win some Scale School money for 2023. Over 220 winners, 4 fortnightly draws, that's 55 fortnightly winners. Cash prizes starting at 1,000 kina, 2,000 kina, 3,000 kina. They also have consolation prizes of 500 kina. Buy any Scalerise or Ori Rise to enter the promotion for your chance to win the Scale School money. Terms and conditions apply.
Scalerise, the Brain Changer.
Open Nets.
Without a doubt, you care for your loved ones. You want to keep them safe, whoever they may be with, wherever they may be, in the home or facing the world outside. Don't let anything stop you, not even bacteria. Protex helps protect your skin with natural extracts. Boosted with flaxseed oil, Protex helps eliminate 99.9% of bacteria for healthy skin. And with the power of natural goodness, you're ready to play every day. Protex, for the good health of your skin.
Whatever you need for your building and home improvements, we got you covered. Hardware House. We supply high-quality professional tools, plumbing and electrical supplies, homeware and outdoor products, paints, building materials and much more, all at affordable prices. And with our experienced staff, we will provide you with the right advice and help you need. So for all your building and home improvement needs, Bayuki Simware, Hardware House. Quality at affordable prices.
Welcome back. PNG Ports Corporation has stepped up in its efforts to curb crime at the Rabaul port by launching a boat for surveillance. The launching of the rubber-inflated boat comes after PNG Ports received a number of reports of illegal activities, including alleged theft of vessel parts and cargoes, prostitution, arms trade, illicit drug smuggling, and other crimes in Rabaul's Simpson Harbour. Simpson's Harbour is one of the most sheltered and secured harbours for conducting ship-to-ship transfer operations. Mostly mother vessels operated by fishing companies take shelter in the harbour to receive fish products from fishing travellers via STS operations, culminating to increased illegal activities in the port. National Operations Manager of PNG Ports, Felix Bowery, said that the Rabaul port has recently seen a major security upgrade with the installation of solar lights, new fencing, and works on cybersecurity. The launching of the boat complements the overall plan to improve security and further amplifies commitment in investing in the ports. The Payam Hospital in Porgera is set to reopen following a recent visit and announcement by the Enga Provincial Health Authority. The hospital had been shut down about 8 months ago following the onslaught of tribal fights in the Porgera Valley last year.
The anticipated hospital reopening is part of ongoing restoration efforts that have been undertaken by volunteer group Porgera Law and Order Crisis Management Committee to bring back normalcy into Porgera in the aftermath of the tribal conflicts. Enga Provincial Health Authority Acting CEO Dr. Elvis Jaffet and Enga Provincial Health Authority team visited Porgera on Thursday, March 2, accompanied by Payam Hospital Medical Superintendent Dr. Jerry Hoga and representatives from the United Nations. Addressing the public at Porgera Station last week, Dr. Jaffet said the hospital will be reopened after completion of general maintenance and cleaning up of the hospital facilities, including staff houses. Whilst thanking the local communities for looking after the asset, he also cautioned that if the tribal conflicts reoccur and the hospital properties are damaged or destroyed, it will be shut down permanently. He says the onus is on the surrounding community for the hospital to run. In February, the Porgera Urban Clinic resumed the provision of health services to the public, and several schools resumed operations while banking services recommenced yesterday at Payam. Maricela Calaton, TVWAN News.
B-Lead Computer Labs for the 6 selected secondary schools in NCD was officially launched by Digital Foundation earlier this week. More than 1.2 million kina worth of internet service will be provided to these schools between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily at no cost to the schools.
6 selected secondary schools in NCD launched the B-Lead Computer Labs by the Digital Foundation earlier this week. These schools are Jubilee Secondary School, Marinville Secondary School, Kila Secondary School, Tokarara Secondary School, Gordon Secondary School, and Badiagwa Secondary School. Each of these schools received a donation of 40 refurbished desktop computers provided for by Lighthouse International, along with smart television sets for teaching and learning. Digicel PNG CEO Colin Stone stated that more than 1.2 million kina worth of internet service will be provided to these schools between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily.
This is one of our joint education projects between the Digicel business and the Foundation, including the work we've already started with Education Television in partnership with the Department of Education. I'd like to thank the team from Lighthouse, our schools, our ICT and technical teams, from Business Solutions that work with the schools to have these labs set up and running. I encourage all the stakeholders, especially the students, here to make valuable use of this resource, and we look forward to working together to ensure a world where no one is left behind.
Digicel PNG Foundation CEO Serena Sasingan acknowledged the school principals, education department leadership, and valued partners for their input towards an essential part of education.
This is part of our initiative now to broaden digital literacy skills amongst our youth. And I would like to thank Lighthouse and the team sitting here. This is Jack from Lighthouse, who is the CEO, who has a similar vision as well to ensure that computer labs and our young people across the length and breadth of PNG have access to computers and are fully able to utilize that so that they can harness the capabilities that are now available before them. So for us, we were thinking of going to the rural areas and partnering there to build out these labs. But when we actually went out into the city, we realized there was a huge need here in our city.
She also announced Digicel Foundation's newly produced B-Lit TV program for grade 9 and 10 called Numbers World, created in close consultation with teachers from Jubilee Secondary School, guided by the PNG curriculum. Secretary for Education Dr. Uke Kombra thanked Digicel for its commitment and contribution to the country's education system. Jasmine Nero, TVWAN News.
A training session was conducted for Relay School and Learning Management System under the rollout of the e-education pilot program. At least 20 students and staff of flexible open and distance education from the NCD and central campuses were taken through an interactive end-user training that focused on effectively using the system. The School and Learning Management System is an enterprise-level cloud solution that allows large learning institutions to manage, track, and store all aspects of their operations and learning activities. With this technology, FOD will be able to run its school operations and manage all aspects of learning that is securely accessible through a web browser. This allows the education institution to have full control of managing all its administration and operational functions, including student registration and individual student assessments. Dr. Janet Subagan Mondes, FOD Deputy Principal Curriculum and IT Curriculum Officer, who facilitated the training, says this is an opportune for the institution as it will open up an avenue where FOD should be. During the visit to Butuka Academy this week, newly appointed Chinese government special envoy for Pacific Countries Affairs, His Excellency Qian Bo, said he is keen to better promote and strengthen PNG-China diplomatic ties. This includes an invite to PNG Prime Minister James Marape to attend an important meet in China at the end of this month.
The newly appointed Chinese government special envoy for Pacific Countries Affairs, His Excellency Qian Bo, is keen to better promote and strengthen PNG-China diplomatic ties. Ambassador Bo recently paid a courtesy visit to Butuka Academy at the invitation of Minister for Foreign Affairs and member for Moresby South, Justin Kachenko. Butuka Academy, interestingly, teaches Mandarin, one of two languages spoken in China.
Learning Chinese will open many doors for you into the future. It will brighten your horizons. It will give you so much opportunities that you've never had before, having a second language like Chinese. It will give you more job opportunities in the future, and it will also broaden your knowledge of the area in Southeast Asia where we live. That we're the only school in Papua New Guinea that teaches Chinese to its students. And that's to your benefit, long-term benefit and bonus going forward.
Ambassador Bo stated that the intention of his appointment was to implement the consensus reached by leaders of both sides as well as to fulfill the outcomes made last year.
And China, over the last decades, China has developed tremendously. In my view, there are many reasons, but the main reason is that the Chinese government and people attach great importance to education. This is the future we are all trying to embrace. And so I would like to say that the Chinese government and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China attach great importance to education, attach great importance to our close bilateral cooperation. And I hope that this school will continue to be a leading school in the country, and we will continue to have the support of the government of PNG. And thank you very much, Foreign Minister. Thank you very much, Governor, for your strong support to this school.
Meantime, PNG Prime Minister James Marape is to attend an important meet in China at the end of this month. The PM has yet to respond to the invite. Jasmine Nero, TV1 News.
Number One Super Limited conducted its first major stakeholder engagement with PNG Power Limited last week. NSL has plans for further engagements in 2023 to reach its 214,000 members and ensure they maximize their superannuation. CEO Paul Sayers said the program provides a low-cost way to have a greater community impact while keeping member funds safe. Over 700 PPL staff participated in the engagement, updating their information and learning about maximizing their superannuation returns. NSL aims to continue providing high-standard services and ensuring members are well prepared for retirement. You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned for more when we return.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him all together.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager. Bongum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi Trubla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Here's Dupont again. He'll go wide this time. They've got the numerical advantage. Ricker, can he get in the corner? Yes, he can. Turtle runs right across. Still alive over England. Marcus Smith, Elliot Bailey, and Dennis Stewart. Stewart cuts it through. And the Nesta Tiger has got England's first.
Welcome back. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations under the European Union-funded Straight PNG program has recently completed the provision of 20,000 fingerlings to 15 inland fishery groups that will benefit 927 fish farming households in 4 districts of East Sepik Province. The aim is to improve the supply and quality of tilapia fish production in the Sepik region. The initiative is aimed at supporting aquaculture or inland fish farmers to increase fish production with quality fingerlings for better income generation, as well as to improve household nutrition and support food security in rural communities. Direct beneficiaries are mainly youths, women, widows and widowers working in 444 fish ponds and 5 nurseries. Before this, all recipient beneficiaries were capacitated by the EU Straight PNG program in proper techniques and skills of aquaculture production, including the biology and life cycle of tilapia fingerlings, stocking, fish feed, formulation and production, fish ponds construction, design and management, bookkeeping, and handling and harvesting of mature fish. Turning overseas now, the Sepik River system, which many people describe as the second Amazon, is coming under threat from extensive logging and a proposed mine site. ABC's PNG correspondent Natalie Whiting with this report.
So we're just coming up to the Sepik River. This is where the 2 rivers join.
The engine cuts out, and suddenly I'm struck by the serenity of the river and how lucky we are to be here. Then the motor kicks back in and we're on our way again. We're going to Global Elite's port at Elamuli, where the logs from Yellow River are loaded onto the barges and transported down the Sepik.
This is the log one. This is Elamuli.
These logs will be sent overseas, mostly to China, where they'll be milled into things like floorboards.
An out-of-control bushfire on the central tablelands has tripled in size since yesterday. Firefighters near Hill End are reporting flames of up to 10 meters high.
It was another challenging day for firefighters as the Tambarura blaze went to emergency level once again. A lull in conditions overnight was short-lived, with strong winds and hot conditions returning around midday.
Our main priority is house protection.
Fire crews had gathered earlier to consider what was ahead of them.
Winds gusting up to around about 25 kilometres are going to be a little bit hazardous for our firefighters, but we'll be able to get on top of that.
The bushfire has spread significantly, now covering more than 10,000 hectares of difficult terrain near Hill End. The RFS says some homes have been damaged.
Smoke, flames and fire, and you just can't stop it. There's no possible way you would have stopped it.
Farmer David Campbell, whose property is north of Hill End, says his house and shearing shed were saved, but the rest of his farm was burnt out.
Just any course of nature, isn't it? But it's just sort of heartbreaking.
He says he's never seen a fire like this in the district.
There's flames coming out a bit 20, 30 foot high. And once you see it come and don't stop there and look at it, was just get out of the road. There's nothing you can do.
Conditions are expected to ease tomorrow, but the Rural Fire Service says it will take several days to get on top of this blaze.
A group of students have ingested an unknown substance on a school bus in North Queensland. The 14 primary school children have been taken to hospital.
Emergency services were called to Bluewater State School north of Townsville around 10 o'clock this morning after students reported feeling nauseous, lightheaded and experiencing abdominal pains. 6 students aged between 8 and 12 years old were taken to the Townsville University Hospital. Another 8 students were later taken to hospital as a precaution. All 14 students arrived at school on the same school bus. Police are investigating reports the children consumed an unknown substance while on the bus. We understand that parents received a text message from Bluewater State School alerting them that there had been an incident at the school this morning. We heard from paramedics who said 22 children had ingested an unknown substance and 16 started displaying minor symptoms. We've also been told all of the children are in stable conditions and currently showing good vital signs. We also heard from police who said the bus was being examined and will form part of their investigation.
Look, in my 18 years of service, this is the first time I've ever been involved in or heard of an incident of this nature.
In a statement, the Department of Education said Bluewater State School holds the safety of its students and staff as its highest priority.
The award-winning playwright has advertised in mainland newspapers for someone to offer their remains for an installation about sacrifice for sins perpetrated against Tasmanian First Nations people.
Trawulaway artist Nathan Maynard is hard at work on his next project.
What I want people to do is I want them to ask themselves, what am I really physically willing to do for First Nations people?
The artist took out an ad nationally seeking an Australian of British descent to donate their future deceased body for an installation.
We're still figuring the work out. A lot of it will be determined by the applicant, to be honest with you. I want this to be a collaboration.
Nathan Maynard is an award-winning playwright. His next proposed work, Relics Act, will be part of the November festival being run by the Hobart City Council and Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery.
I think if you're asking yourself, why am I so upset about a white person volunteering their body to the black cause, I think you should be upset about the fact that there's thousands of Aboriginal remains that were murdered, stolen, and then sent overseas to museums and institutions.
The museum has acknowledged that the work may be confrontational, but it's an important part to the truth-telling process. It's also promised to ensure the handling of the body is in accordance to both law and health requirements. There are also ethical questions.
We've got to check on the capacity of the person to make such a donation, that they're in their right mind. For the person making the donation, they can say, well, I'd love to do this, I can see the value, but they may also have residual obligations to think about family members.
Seeing as a lot of their bodies were taken, so why not do it the other way around? And at least he is asking people for the bodies, so, you know, at least we're giving permission.
I probably wouldn't do it myself, but there would be someone out there I think that would do it.
Nathan Maynard has already received half a dozen expressions of interest.
And that ends the news segment. Here is the weather report for the next 24 hours. And that ends the news segment. Jasmine returns with sports news after the break.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bongum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
Is coming strong from the canvas. Has he got the legs? 10, 5, he's been tackled around the bootlaces. What a beautiful one, what a beautiful tackle. He got paid eventually. Wow. Did anybody catch the name of that train?
Here's TVWAN again. He'll go wide this time. They've got the numerical advantage. Can he get in the corner? Yes, he can. Still alive over it. Marcus Smith, Elliot Bailey, and Dennis Stewart. Stewart cuts it through. And the Laser Tiger has gone England first.
Great opportunity. Needs to run. It's up for the goal.
Robson was a try save, but Felder's knocked on. Ball play on in one, they score.
Grant goes himself from dummy half and reaches out to win the game for the Storm.
No change on this occasion. Sheehan breaks away. And the young man is over for the first try of the afternoon. Jack Sheehan in for Ireland. Escaped so far. Schumann puts the head down. 3 Irish players there, but they can't stop him. Schumann is over. Great try from Scotland.
Welcome back. The trial match against Central Queensland Capras and the Melanesian Bowl contest with Fiji Silktails has got PNG Hunters re-energized for the 2023 QRL Host Plus Cup season opener against debutants Western Clydesdales this weekend. The PNG Hunters have assembled a solid squad, yet to be named to face Queensland Rugby League debutant, the Western Clydesdale, in the Host Plus Cup season opener on Sunday, March the 12th in Australia. After coming off a win in the Melanesian Bowl against the Fiji Silktails, this is a booster for a round 1 win. The team have been hard in training this week and look forward to a tough contest against coach Paul Aiton is reassuring his team to do it right.
All added to all this to where we are at the moment. And we're in a good spot. We're in a really good spot. We're a lot of new players, but we're doing all those small things. We're just trying to get everyone on the same rugby league understanding, and then, so we're just running through our plays again, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Again, there's a lot of new.
With a few players sustaining injuries, the Hunters camp are positive as they beef up on their defense and attacking techniques. With hopes raised for a win, the Hunters will be playing it calm as powerhouse Epel Capinias will lead the forwards pack. The Clydesdales has a mix of youth and experience, a combination of cup players and players from the local region set for a crunch time.
The goal of the games we must wins, but I think for now we just want to start this first game off really well, and we'll be focusing on completion, because I think
Hunter strongman Capinias is all set, and with the experience gained from playing with the winner Manly in season 2022, he is expected to utilize and share his skills with playmates for a blockbuster opener. Capinias expects nothing but teamwork.
Yeah, long-term goals like even boys, something. Something like fix him outside fixilo feel me ko liko sanira so namba build up goals and basati mabenes.
With minor injuries hitting the camp, the Hunters are set for round 1 opener. Now to overseas sports, a new generation of skippers will be leading teams in the AFL this season, with 8 players taking the captaincy for the first time.
It's AFL Captain's Day when skippers from all the clubs come together here in Melbourne and make their predictions for the upcoming AFL men's season. And with me, I'm joined by Zach Merritt, who is a first-time skipper with the Essendon Football Club. Firstly, congratulations, Zach, on being appointed. What's it like to be here among the other leaders of the competition for the first time?
Yeah, thanks, mate. To have I think 9 or 10 new captains is a bit of a turnover, but exciting opportunity, I think, for a lot of us new guys to be in the same room as some guys I really admire as well, and role models of mine. Is it's a bit of a surreal feeling, but something I'm super excited by.
New captain, new coach, new CEO, lots of change at the football club. Is there a feeling that it's a new era, that you're turning over a new leaf?
Yeah, I think certainly changing so many different roles and people obviously always brings in some freshness to the environment. And I think pre-seasons always filled with optimism and excitement. I think we're keen as a group now to get some feedback in some real games. Competition to play for 4 points and get some feedback on how our things are stacking up and the areas we need to improve on, because obviously a lot of work we need to do, but it's pretty hard to know where you're going without that feedback against real opposition. So we're just keen to get the season started and go from there.
In saying that, do you avoid the word expectation?
It's always there. I think for us, we've just got so much young talent there that is ready to grow and develop, and as a club we've resourced those areas really strongly now, so I'm sure there'll be a bit of a lag effect, but hopefully sooner rather than later those guys come on really strongly and provide some real excitement for our fans.
Good luck for round 1, Zach.
Thank you.
Bombers will play Hawthorn in round 1 next Sunday at the MCG.
Alicia Power is a Commonwealth Games silver medalist, a World Cup bronze medalist, and one of just 2 goalkeepers in the Hockeyroos squad. She waited 4 years between her first 2 appearances as she battled crippling mental health issues.
Alicia Power knows about putting in hard work. The Hockeyroos keeper is working her way back from a hamstring strain, but 4 years ago she was facing something far more challenging.
I had a series of unfortunate events very close to one another, and it felt like I was drowning.
After making her debut in 2017, Power couldn't break back into the squad.
It just felt like someone was just tipping a bucket of water on me, and it's like you can't breathe. It's like, you just got out of a relationship and then now you've had a car accident and I just felt like I could not breathe anymore.
She started yo-yoing between intense overtraining and crushing depression and self-isolation. Power sought help from a WA Institute of Sport psychologist and over 18 months learnt techniques which were reflected in her hockey performance.
It's not a quick fix, and that's the thing, it's like mental health isn't a quick fix. It's a long-term thing you have to work on, and even to this day, I still struggle with things.
Now she wants to use her experience to help others, becoming an AIS mental fitness ambassador, speaking with school students about managing their mental health. Power is not an outlier in the world of elite athletes seeking mental health support. Since the establishment of its mental health referral network, the Institute of Sport says more and more sports people are asking for help.
In 2019, we probably saw about 200 referrals come through the mental health referral network. And in 2022, we saw about 550 referrals.
The increase follows a trend across the general population as awareness of mental health grows.
People are talking about mental health more, and so people feel more comfortable talking and disclosing mental health problems within their sport and seeking support.
Alicia Power hopes it's a trend that continues.
And that ends another edition of TVWAN Sports. Over to you, Carol.
Thank you, Jazz. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.